eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
NewsSpin calling, 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 calling. NewsSpin calling, 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 calling. NewsSpin calling, 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 calling. Across the land, all across the world, echoes of voices, we join hand in hand. Harmony rise in the afternoon sun. Come along, NewsSpin has begun. NewsSpin is the best, better than all talk show. Most monitored talk show in the world. True from St. Lucia to sandy shores, from cities and hills to the Caribbean breeze. We sing together, hearts at ease. Education to open every mind. Learn about your country, leave no one behind. When NewsSpin is on your radio, come along hands in hands, voices in unity, singing loud. NewsSpin, news the best, better than all talk show. Most monitored talk show in the world. St. Lucian's heart to the world's every land. Knowledge unites us hand in hand. Yeah, Tim on NewsSpin call, bridging gaps between us all. Voices lift on high, under one sky we unify. Tim on NewsSpin call, bridging gaps between us all. Voices lift on high, under one sky we unify. NewsSpin is on education for all, from city streets to mountains tall. Learn your history, share your dreams. Together we light the world with our flame. NewsSpin is the best, better than all talk show. Most monitored talk show in the world. Better than all talk show. Most monitored talk show in the world. NewsSpin is the best, better than all talk show. Most monitored talk show in the world. Yeah, NewsSpin is the best, better than all talk show. Most monitored talk show in the world.
Welcome to the Friday edition of another program. NewsSpin is on Power 97.9 FM. The broadcast is also on the NewsSpin Facebook page as well as the NewsSpin YouTube channel. Please like the video, share, subscribe to the NewsSpin YouTube channel, and click the notification bell to help the NewsSpin YouTube channel grow. My name is Timothy Poleon. We go up until 2 o'clock this afternoon. Shanti is here going through your comments in the chat rooms, and she'll be providing us with some updates, and I'll be entertaining your calls at 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. As usual, we have a lot in store to share with you. But we start on a sad note. We have to remind you of the pain, the anguish that some people go through in St. Lucia every time a family member is murdered, is gunned down. And in most instances, mothers are the ones who are feeling the brunt of the pressure. They're the ones who are crying out, literally crying out for justice, lamenting the loss of a son in most instances, and asking the question, why? And in some instances, those mothers are in shock. They can't believe that they have lost a son. Let me take you back to late last month, when 24-year-old Michel Jean of Bas Saint-Joseph was gunned down the 29th of May. And this incident occurred in that community. And this left his mother, Christina Jean, in a state of shock and disbelief.
But I don't believe my son gone. He's still alive, he's not dead. But when I see that they finish and I don't see my son, and I understand that, yes, he's gone for true. But that they don't finish yet, I'm still waiting to see.
Quite painful. Yet another family has found themselves in a position to be in shock, because the island has recorded another homicide. Homicide number 37. And according to a source, the latest victim is a 52-year-old man. And he succumbed to his injuries this morning, pronounced dead at 9:13, identified as Marinus Amibalfa of Gadet in Dennery. And the incident occurred in that same community. 52 years old. Don't know whether his mom is still alive. Don't know whether his father is still alive, but he would have relatives. And they, at this time, are grieving. And what are we expected to do on this broadcast? Report that an incident of that nature occurred. Another life has been lost in our country. Regret that the incident occurred. Tell you about the number of homicides for the year. Give you the specifics, if we have the circumstances under which that gruesome incident would have occurred, provided to you. And most people want us to just move on. Forget it. Do not provide any analysis, any feedback. Do not provide any commentary. If you do that, you are against progress. If you do that, you are blaming certain individuals who are appointed and elected to ensure that law and order is maintained in our country. You are against them. You are against the government. You are pro a political politician or particular political party. We have to call a spade a spade. This situation is clearly out of hand and giving the impression that we don't have people whose job it is to maintain law and order in our country, to bring out some semblance of order. We're not saying that St. Lucia will not record 1 or 2 homicides for any given year. That's not what we're saying. We are not saying that we ought to have a perfect society. None is perfect. But there's something called accountability. You have to account when you're given a particular job. And you, more than most, in the private sector, you understand that. You have timelines. You will set goals and targets. Not for some people. And to add insult to injury, without any shame, they put up defenses, they put up walls. This is not the first time St. Lucia is going through this particular experience. This happened before. Wrong and strong. But they don't realize that they're basically a waste of our financial resources. Because if you are being paid, you have been given a title, we expect you to deliver. Not 100%, but at least when we're marking you, we could say, well, the National Security Minister, when it comes to crime, we will give him at least 80%. Minister for Home Affairs, Minister with responsibility for crime prevention, give him at least 60%. He's trying. But under such circumstances, are you guys trying? When you tell me that as far as crime is concerned, we will not see the results overnight, what are you trying to do? Fool me? Fool the people of St. Lucia? There must be some level of immediate success in terms of you managing the situation. This is 2x4 St. Lucia. And you're saying to me that it will take you what? The next 50 years. By that time you've retired. You have left the political arena. You're now collecting your pension. And you leave behind that kind of challenge for future generations. And you want to look the people in the eye and say, don't worry about crime. We're trying to paint St. Lucia as this society that is in a chaotic state, and that's not true. Say those same things. Give those excuses to the family members whose relatives continue to perish in such circumstances. I read somewhere that we're recording 1 homicide every 4 days. And for you, the people of St. Lucia, that is acceptable. That's normal. It's not worth criticizing the authorities, not worth criticizing the police. It's not worth criticizing the minister with responsibility for what? Conflict resolution. It's not worth criticizing the prime minister, the man who is basically responsible for your own safety, because he does not want you to take matters into your own hands. If you can't get a firearm, the right to have a firearm, carry a firearm and have ammunition that are licensed by the police to protect yourself, how are you going to protect yourself? And we're not saying that's what you should do, but you rely on law enforcement. That's the proper thing to do. You rely on your cabinet of ministers. You rely on your justice minister, who is also the prime minister. Minister with responsibility for justice. Minister with responsibility for national security. Minister with responsibility for finance. Prime Minister. I don't know, maybe a consultant has told him what exactly to do to arrest the crime problem, to bring it under control. But based on the statements he's been making of late, maybe saying that those are too rational. They will cost him maybe 1,000 votes in Castries East and the other constituencies, and therefore the SLP can lose the election. And that's why he's not implementing certain measures, taking certain approaches to bring crime under control. And I know that some of you there might be wincing. You have an issue with what I am saying. But what do you expect me to say? Considering what we are going through, 37 homicides in 2x4 St. Lucia, the 6th month of the year. GPH. We have to revisit GPH. Why? Because the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines has signed a deal with Global Ports Holding. Signing took place yesterday. The same 30-year deal. GPH likes the number 30. They love it. I did not hear during that ceremony that there's a provision that states that they have an option to renew for an additional 10 years. I listened to the entire presentation, did not get that impression. But the fact that there was an official signing open to the media, I'm asking myself, what did we miss in St. Lucia? Why didn't we have such a ceremony where the reporters could have posed questions to those folks at the head table? But before that, we like to talk about colonialism. And we hate that the vestiges of colonialism are still plaguing our society. There are new forms of slavery where we still have to kowtow to foreign powers. But why can't we, as a people in this Caribbean, remove ourselves from that kind of enslavement that we seemingly abhor? We lament all the time. Are you telling me that we are so lacking in ambition and discipline and the drive and the know-how? We don't have the expertise to manage our own ports, whether it is St. Lucia or now St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We have to hand our ports over to the white man. What does that say about us, the black people? And so St. Vincent has followed the example of St. Lucia. And that deal, under that arrangement, GPH will be undertaking projects to the tune of between $225 and $250 million. But there are some differences. I told you earlier on that for starters, there was a ceremony that was opened to the Vincentian Society. They watched it, I guess, on SVG TV. It was also on YouTube and Facebook. And the reporters could have asked questions. Let me give an example of this. Daniel Vieira, who is the press secretary to the Prime Minister, did say to the reporters, you can ask questions. Let's listen to it.
We now invite members of the media. If you have any questions, please identify your media house and feel free to ask your question. We now invite members of the media. If you have any questions, please identify your media house and feel free to ask your question.
press secretary in the office of the Prime Minister out of St. Vincent, Daniel Vieira. In St. Lucia, when you had the signing in August of 2023, reporters were not invited. So if you're not invited, can't open the floor to invite you to ask questions of people at the head table. The Prime Minister, the Tourism Minister, Investment Minister, GPH officials, GPH consultants, etc. So as much as you can criticize St. Vincent for not taking on the responsibility of developing their port and passing it on to GPH, at least there's some level of transparency. The chairman of GPH, Mehmet Kutman, took OECS leaders to task as far as the head tax is concerned, because they're so divided. They can't manage their own ports. They have to pass it on to the foreigner and the white man. And also, they can't come together, coalesce, unite, and say to those cruise companies that we are negotiating with you as one. So the head tax will be $10 US. Whether you go to a port in St. Vincent, in Dominica, Grenada, etc. But they're busy playing one against the other. So the chairman of GPH, Kutman, makes reference to this. Let us listen.
And I'm going to criticize now not only Dr. Honorable Goodwin, but also all the all the prime ministers in the region. You guys have EC, it's called EC.
EC dollars.
No, the community.
Eastern Caribbean.
Eastern Caribbean.
Yeah.
They never can get a loan altogether. If they got a loan altogether, all of them agreed they could charge $100 to the cruise passengers, and the cruise lines could accept that, should accept that, will accept that. But somehow it breaks. You know, $100, that's a lot of money for every single, but it will never happen. We are shooting for that slowly, step by step. This is off the record, confidential. And I'm going to criticize now not only Dr. Honorable Goodwin, but also all the all the prime ministers in the region. You guys have EC, it's called EC.
EC dollars.
No, the community.
Eastern Caribbean.
Eastern Caribbean.
Yeah.
They never can get a loan altogether. If they got a loan altogether, all of them agreed they could charge $100 to the cruise passengers, and the cruise lines could accept that, should accept that, will accept that. But somehow it breaks. You know, $100, that's a lot of money for every single, but it will never happen. We are shooting for that slowly, step by step. This is off the record, confidential.
And this is no laughing matter, because it just shows that you leaders are a waste of time. You can't unite to get a good deal so that the people of the sub-regional benefit. The chairman of GPH will do it for you. Waste of time, leaders. And you know what? They can't run the countries. What the old lady said, they can't do what? Chukum.
I think St. Lucia is not nothing. St. Lucia is not nothing. Nobody can control St. Lucia. Only God that could control St. Lucia. Right? Everything coming down. You cannot feed your children. Your children can't even go to school. Not even sugar you getting to make it for your children now. What kind of country that is? Eh? And they have a government? The government no chukum. Si me see that government pito. Ek ngai will country about you. Right? Ngai will country about you back. I think St. Lucia is not nothing. St. Lucia is not nothing. Nobody can control St. Lucia. Only God that could control St. Lucia, right? Everything coming down. You cannot feed your children can't even go to school. Not even sugar you getting to make tea for your children now. What kind of country that is? Eh? And they have a government, the government no chukum. Si me mwasi la pour government pito. Et nga will country abayo. Right? Nga will country abayo back.
And I'm going to criticize now not only Dr. Honorable Goodwin, but also all the all the prime ministers in the region. You guys have EC, it's called EC.
EC dollars.
No, the community.
Eastern Caribbean.
Eastern Caribbean.
Yeah.
They never can get a loan altogether. If they got a loan altogether, all of them agreed, they could charge $100 to the cruise passengers, and the cruise lines could accept that, should accept that, will accept that. But somehow it breaks. You know, $100, that's a lot of money for every single, but it will never happen. We are shooting for that slowly, step by step. This is off the record, confidential.
The white man will show you all how to do it. Good afternoon to you, Janti. Let's find out what is happening in the chat rooms as we open the lines at 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. Good afternoon to you, Janti.
Good afternoon, Tim. Starting off on YouTube, our first comment reads, "Oh my God, what is going on in St. Lucia, really? And you all still want a white man to rule this country." On Facebook, we have a comment reading, "This type of pain is heart-wrenching, Tim. The entire Caribbean has been recolonized. Our people have just not realized it. It's marked as foreign investment. Too late shall be our cry. GPH has a face. Friday, that will be your first and last election won. Trust me." We have another comment here saying, "Homicide after homicide, but they will still request a touch of red at funerals. People believe more in salt than God in this country. Wow, that's so sad. Can you imagine the pain the family is feeling, particularly the mother?"
Thanks so much, Janti, for that update. We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Hi, good afternoon, Tim. How are you?
I am okay. Good afternoon to you, sir. Is that Mr. Titus Preville?
Hi, yes, Tim, it's me.
Yes, go ahead.
And I'm sorry I'm the first one to call the program, actually.
No problem.
But,
we need an opening batsman, so if it's you, it's somebody else, it's okay.
Thank you, sir. Tim, I just wanted, if your program that you've carried out, you said two things today. You have covered two areas that I wanted to comment on. I'll take the second area first, the area of GPH and the agreement that, or the MOU at least, that has been signed between GPH and the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Mm-hmm.
And to first of all congratulate Dr. Friday and his government for undertaking such a negotiation with GPH. And you have already highlighted a couple of things that make that MOU sign so different to what we have in St. Lucia. Identified the transparency elements of the agreement in terms of it being done in public. And there are other aspects, as I have read in a press release somewhere, where they say the amount of the investment that you indicate is about $250 billion.
Yes.
So we could run a comparison between that and $40 billion US in St. Lucia. They have 30 years, that is, the MOU is a 30-year agreement over a $250 million investment. And that is substantially more in terms of an investment than in St. Lucia. You have a situation where the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines would own at least 30% shares in what you call the special purpose vehicle, meaning the entity that would be formed to oversee the implementation of this multi-phase project. So you have transparency in terms of an MOU and its signing and questioning. You have two investment quantums or quantities that are different. You have, in a sense, the real governmental approach of ensuring they are putting the people first in the agreement, because the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines stand to benefit directly, and that by the people we're talking about, perhaps the national insurance in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the credit unions there, the ordinary people who are in the teachers' credit union and whatnot. I don't know who is going to take up the shares, but the opportunity has been created for at least 30% of the shares to be owned by the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And therefore, I want to commend the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines for taking their cue from the example that the Bahamians have already set long in advance, prior to St. Lucia's agreement with GPH, which, as I say right now, none of us have any clue what is in there. We don't know. And so we have no idea what the arrangements are. So certainly, I would hope and pray even now that St. Lucians have some sort of shares in this agreement that the government has with GPH, that the government of St. Lucia has with GPH. We don't know. We have never seen it. But I'm hoping, given that there was the example of Bahamas, that the government of St. Lucia would have had St. Lucians having shares in that GPH agreement. But maybe one day the people of St. Lucia will get the benefit of knowing what our country has committed itself to for the next 30 to 40 years. So I want to commend the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Secondly, team, on the matter of your comment with respect to the apparent lack of tolerance for persons who speak on matters of crime in St. Lucia, even if they're speaking objectively, even if they're speaking in a manner that is suggesting that we need to urge all of us to do things we can. That the Prime Minister in his cabinet comments following the press conference that the UWP would have had with crime. I listened to him in his pre-cabinet briefing the Monday after that, and I was very disappointed in the Prime Minister's interpretation of the English language that characterized the press conference we had. In the first instance, he seemed to have said or interpreted what we have said there, Laura, myself, and Sylvester Grover, as if we were placing blame for or holding the government responsible for the crime of passion that took place involving the young lady.
Joyce and Toba?
Yes, Joyce and Toba. And I'm certain if you go over this entire press conference, you would not see anywhere in there where the government of St. Lucia was being held responsible for that. I personally went as far as saying any administration, whether it is UWP or SLC, must take responsibility for the security of our country and make that clear. So it was not an attack on the government, Labour Party. I'm saying any government, any administration, it is your responsibility to do the next from it. And secondly, I remember very well saying that that it was a case where the government should look at the systems that let the young lady down. The systems that let her down. It's not a political issue. It has more to it than that. And the Prime Minister would have interpreted the comments in a very strange way in his press briefing. Tim, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay, good. A very strange way in his press briefing, pretty much saying that persons who are rejected politicians should not use crime in a manner to get political points, or score cheap political points. I am increasingly disappointed in the Prime Minister's apparent misunderstanding of the plain English language. He needs to really take time and listen to what he said before he speaks. You see, a couple of things strike me. First of all, persons who take part in politics in St. Lucia, they put themselves forward. And he has repeatedly referred to those persons as rejected politicians. And I seem to recall that the Prime Minister took part in politics in his very first run, and he did not win against Romanus Atlanticus. So I don't know how he looked at himself then. What was he? And perhaps he could reflect on that. If the standard Prime Minister of St. Lucia stop using words that have meaning, that degrade people, that seem to indicate he is becoming increasingly arrogant. I say so because I would like to see a Prime Minister of St. Lucia carry the office as if they understand the importance of the position. I say so, it's all genuineness. I just want to see the job done properly. So let us check the politics out. Do your work, Prime Minister. Just do your work. And perhaps if you do that, you'll mobilize persons to follow you in the lead to fight crime. And perhaps if you do that, you will come to the people, hopefully, and tell them what is in the agreement that St. Lucia has signed for the next 30 to 40 years with Global Port Authority. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you so much for calling, sir. Just heard there from Mr. Titus Sprayville of the Opposition United Workers' Party. And he made reference to the 30% stake that Vincentians will have in that GPH operation over in St. Vincent. And this comment was made during the signing of the MOU by the Vincentian Prime Minister, Dr. Godwin Friday.
A special purpose vehicle will be established to allow Vincentian nationals to hold up to 30% ownership in the port operating company. This means Vincentians will have an opportunity to benefit indirectly from the increased economic activity that will naturally follow such a major investment with such a dynamic and reputable partner. And also to participate directly in the ownership and success of the enterprise. The bigger it grows, the more benefit we will derive indirectly and directly from this enterprise. The government will also have representation on the board of directors, ensuring transparency, oversight, and ongoing engagement on behalf of the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. A special purpose vehicle will be established to allow Vincentian nationals to hold up to 30% ownership in the port operating company. This means Vincentians will have an opportunity to benefit indirectly from the increased economic activity that will naturally follow such a major investment with such a dynamic and reputable partner. And also to participate directly in the ownership and success of the enterprise. The bigger it grows, the more benefit we will derive indirectly and directly from this enterprise. The government will also have representation on the board of directors, ensuring transparency, oversight, and ongoing engagement on behalf of the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Major disclosure being made there by the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines about a special purpose vehicle being set up whereby Vincentians, various interest groups in St. Vincent, will have a 30% stake in the GPS operations there. In the case of St. Lucia, we can't reveal that. We can't say this. We can't say that. We can't answer. 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Good afternoon to you again. Jante, what's happening in the chat rooms?
On YouTube, we have a comment saying, when will St. Lucians learn? Yes, too late will be our cry. If only you knew how on point that statement is. The Caribbean leaders are not doing what is best for their people. The man pointed that out. Ask regional governments to do better. On Facebook, we have a comment reading, the only white man they don't like is Shas, but that's the only white man that likes them. Oh boy, this man is giving a quick tip on Caribbean unity and what we can achieve as a force. But every ant wants to be a lion. The white man is taking over the OECS and laughing at us. We have another comment saying, Vincentians, do not take Momo tablets. Good for them. We are enslaved by the educated ones among us. That's how it's supposed to be done. Transparent. A few comments are reading, things will be different when it hits home. The National Security Minister can't even say the word, let alone do anything about it. Tim, If the gun amnesty was successful, then the police force is successful. We have another comment here reading, Tim, they're all happy because their party is in power. If it was Shas, all hell would have broken loose. St. Lucians can't even carry pepper spray to protect themselves. That's why some people believe in the power of salts. We have shortage of water, but blood is flowing like a river. We have more comments from our Facebook page saying, Tim, play what Pierre recently said for the hacks. They do not have an issue with what you're saying. I wonder if the GBH deal with St. Vincent is the same secret deal as they made with St. Lucia's government. And they did not want the white man as our prime minister, shaking my head. We have another commenter saying, you were screaming transparency back then. Why aren't you saying it today? We've been controlled by higher authorities. Someone is playing the cards. All of these Labour parties in the Caribbean think alike. They are visionless and lazy. Another comment here reading, as the lady says, God will put a hand. That's what CARICOM and the OACS should be trying to achieve. No Caribbean island could have won cricket games independently. But as West Indies cricket team, look at what we have achieved. You guys will be asking for the white man soon enough. We have another comment saying, imagine a man making a deal with a prime minister and lacks information on OACS and does not know the PM's name. The face of the Caribbean will be unrecognizable in about 5 years. And our final comment, we work and it's not for ourselves but to pay off bills.
Thank you so much, Jante, for that update. WhatsApp message, somebody says there, if we St. Lucians put our country first instead of the party we support, things would be much better. Just there, any place we as St. Lucians can go to get information on contracts signed on behalf of ourselves. At the end of the day, the government is working for us. Another WhatsApp message, and it reads, a patient was discharged at the OKE hospital with a prescription. 8 drugs prescribed, not one can be dispensed at the pharmacy. Not one. Now tell me, Sapabetes, they have none. Porjab, Sapablag. That's according to a WhatsApp message. Some more of your messages. And somebody writes, Tim, long ago, if you attended a funeral in any other color other than black, white, or mauve, purple, it would be regarded as an insult to the tradition. Having said this, yesterday I watched a funeral in the north of the island and it really seemed like it was a party convention. Having a service before the convention, it looked so ridiculous. Again, according to a WhatsApp message. Some more of your messages. Somebody writes, over the past 2 years, I have been consistent in highlighting the crime problem in St. Lucia. I have been criticized by all the comrades as politicizing crime. Every time someone dies from gun violence, families suffer. It has an economic impact on the country. But what got me was the cop-out of the Prime Minister to remove himself from the reason we are not getting solutions for the crime. He claims that there is a gap between the commission of the crime and the imprisonment of persons committing the crime. He claims that that gap depends on evidence, process, and procedure. What he fails to speak of is the lack of proper witness protection processes to get witnesses to give credible evidence, the lack of confidence in the system, which pushes witnesses away from giving evidence, and the failure to ensure that justice prevails in our country. So I will not stop to point out that the shortcoming of the authorities in dealing with our crime situation. We have Pato on the line. Good afternoon to you, sir. Pato.
Thank God, I'm still there. I'm there.
Yes, sir. Long time we haven't heard from you. How are you?
Long time. I'm good.
What's in your mind?
Before I go any further, I just want to say blessings upon the new spinners, and I want to let everybody know that I'm alive and well. The situation is still the same, but God is in control. Okay?
Including your friend over in Canada, right?
Yeah. I like that man there. I like that man. Whether Mr. Rigobert sit down, lay down, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Big up to my brother over there in Canada. Yeah. It's a while I haven't called Timmy, but I'm on board. You know, sometimes when I stand and I listen to what is happening in the country, I'm on board, but I take a back seat. You understand? Because in the first place, I did not start the fire. So those that have started the fire, if they're burning now, you understand? I'm just shielding myself away from the fire. But I'm tempted and I'm forced to call today. Because of the situation of the GPH deal in St. Vincent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I can remember a couple months, I would say, they had the debate in the parliament in St. Lucia where Shasney was supposed to speak up and he did not. And there was a caller who called you and he told you what happened in St. Vincent in the House, that the opposition spoke at a certain time when they had to speak and Shasney did not speak. And the reason why Shasney did not speak is because Shasney did not have nothing to say. And if somebody don't have nothing to say and they keep their mouth shut, I think that's a good idea. Then somebody that don't have nothing to say and they just speak, and each time they speak, they are digging a hole to bury themselves. So I would appreciate if that same caller would have called today and make the comparison, the difference between the GPH deal that is happening in St. Lucia today, what happened in St. Lucia and what is taking place in Barbados, because there is a difference. Are you there with me?
Yeah, between St. Lucia and St. Vincent, you said Barbados.
Yeah. Those two deals are totally different.
Very much from what we can hear. From what we've heard.
From what we can hear.
Yeah.
Yes. So if that caller could have seen the difference in the parliament where they had the thing, and you can see the difference that Shasney could have speak, because the opposition in St. Vincent, they spoke at the time they had to. You understand where I'm coming from, of course?
Yes, Pastor.
How about calling now and saying, explaining the difference that what is happening in St. Lucia now? The other thing, again, is we are in that situation, within that crime situation. Crime. And everybody, I'm not saying everybody, those that are responsible to at least, if they cannot stop the crime, to curb the crime, to do something about it. When you had a prime minister will say that the criminals, or when we get somebody caught in crime, they are paying the highest price over than all the Caribbean islands. You understand? To me, that makes no sense at all. So what you're saying on that line, that is a dead end. There is no stiffer penalty. Est-ce que vous comprenez qui est sorti là?
Oui, n'a comprendre.
Oui, so on peut dire à Kewol. Si vous savez, c'est cette liste qui a payé plus pour y a qui plus haut pour criminel, pour bail, pour condamner, pour faire n'importe quoi là, c'est cette liste qui n'est plus haut punition pour yo. Parce que toutes ces les autres côtés là, qui ça ou ka try di moi, which means là pas rien ka ça fait about pour punir plus. Vous comprenez? So moi t'ai avoué ça, sous pas ça punir plus. Qui l'autre bagaille ou ka fait, qui ça ou en place pour ça faire pour rabattre crime là. Ça son bagaille moi juste ka avoué ça. Vous comprenez? Because c'est yo qui responsable pour pas yo qui va voyer mon faire crime, but l'autre chebe mon en crime c'est yo qui responsable pour faire un bagaille pour rabattre crime là. C'est ça qui force moi pour me parler aujourd'hui, mais moi là qu'à côté et moi pas une pièce de l'autre côté qu'à aller. Vous comprenez? Bien bonne journée.
Okay, Pato, vous aussi, merci pour couiller. So while we have not heard from Pato, we have also not heard from Brother Harris for at least 3 or 4 months. Good afternoon to you, Brother Harris. Hope you are okay. We'd love to hear from you today, if you care to call, if you're not too busy. Somebody says they're via WhatsApp. Good day, Tim. What is the use of the Grosele police station? Tim, an accident occurred outside of the station, and people had to wait 4 hours for Castries officers to come up because Castries Traffic Department had accidents in Bexar and the highway. This thing is not working. For the past year, we in the north are suffering from this merger where Castries is handling all accidents from Cap Estate to the top of the Badlil. I have had friends who waited for 6 hours. Why not Grosele have their own traffic unit? Mr. Commissioner, do something about that. That is according to a WhatsApp message. So more of your calls and your WhatsApp messages still to come. We also have an old-time Kaiso to play for you, and it's called Who Running. Stay with us. We'll be back.
Advance your career at Lightspark Training with a globally recognized certification. Conveniently located on High Street, Castries, Lightspark offers a wide range of programs to make the most of your career. Certifications in project management, risk management, quality management, marketing, ACC accounting, human resources, Microsoft, Cisco, and IT technician certification, graphic design, web design, and programming. Complete a diploma in accounting in 6 months or a bachelor's degree in just over a year. Call us today at 451-8918 or visit us at www.lightspark.com.
Compagnie Courant Lucilec a informé public là qui place service pratique là en maison Blue Coral Asso la 8 pont en Castries qui fermé by public là pour tout temps commencer vendredi 29 mai à 4h après-midi. Lucilec a pris action cela quand il a fait plusieurs changements en opération et fait plan pour délivrer plus meilleurs services. Lucilec a aussi informé que bureau service pratique en maison Carilec à sur la rue Désir à Sans Souci ouvert et paré pour recevoir et bail pratique les services. Lucilec a encouragé les pratiques qui a servi bureau Blue Coral pour servir l'autre bureau à Sans Souci, Rodney Bay et Benvier-Fort. Les pratiques aussi ni choix pour visiter yo à sur internet là à lucilec.com. Lucilec a chain commitment pour porter un service qui est reliable, à l'aise vous joindre avec bonne qualité qui ça toute pratique les besoins. Management Lucilec regrette n'importe déconvenance qui peut en cause par place Blue Coral là qui fermé et qu'à remercier les pratiques pour l'accompagner.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbuta at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
Ouais, monsieur, pas jodi moi la ka espérer plein bon glow, hein. Si t'es la pani pressure. Moi ni tongue, moi ni glow, mais money pressure. Ou savez ça moi besoin? A pomme. Ça c'est bêtise. Moi ka aller ko Europa. Yo ni toute pomme pour toute condition. Qui pour kay, qui pour business, yo ni pli mer pour pomme cette ici. Yo ka ranger pomme aussi qui besoin service. Run pump yo c'est Léo. Pump ça c'est Major. Ils vont tout bonnement. Tant si ten mois actuellement. Glo ka fonte. Europa ni pump glo Léo under pour les nerfs, orange et gris. Visitez Europa ambassade Gozile. Les mots au téléphone 452-0763.
Every day, the pain is still there. Back, neck, shoulder, hip, chronic arthritis, pain down your leg to your toes, or heel pain when you put your foot on the ground. You've tried many things, but nothing works. Waiting will only make it worse. At La Clinique du Corps, we find the real cause of your pain using advanced MRI scans from head to toes with no radiation for more accurate results. Our specialist doctors provide faster diagnosis and effective treatment. Less pain, better movement, better life. All insurances accepted. Call now before it gets worse. 451-6559, that's 451-6559, or WhatsApp 721-9950. WhatsApp 721-9950. La Clinique du Corps. Stop suffering. Start living.
Turn up the vibes with Flow! Flow is turning up the vibes with 400 rewards this carnival season. Sign up for postpaid, add it to your internet, and turn up your rewards. From free grocery vouchers and big handset discounts to free event tickets and costumes with the baddest bands. Flow customers are turning up 400 times. Sign up in store or visit discoverflow.co to claim your reward. Terms and conditions apply.
Night Meds As your dependable neighborhood pharmacy, you'll notice that upon entry, you are greeted by caring professional staff, attentive to your every need. Your prescriptions are always treated with a high degree of confidentiality, and we pride ourselves on providing speedy, efficient service. We carry a wide array commonly requested over-the-counter products, and our prices are very competitive. We offer blood pressure testing, blood sugar, and cholesterol testing. We're open to fill your prescriptions Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Come visit Sadhu's gas station on the Miku Highway or call us at 572-6840 or WhatsApp 461-6840 for more information. Night Meds Pharmacy. We are your community med store.
An supposé, ça c'est dernier kwas gloa. En temps cette lisi, tant ka wem ka vini pli long ek pli wed, ek sous glo nou ka cheche. Ek la plia ka tobe pli fort ek pli terib, ça ka dommage kay nou ek système glo nou. Mais nous sa changer ça. Nous sa conserver de l'eau et protéger sous de l'eau nous. Chaque petit démarche nous point ça aider. Wasco ka travaille ensemble et puis agent pour manager sous de l'eau et ka permettre pour assurer de l'eau en temps qui ka venir. Mais nous besoin si pauvre. Ensemble, nous sa protéger de l'eau nous, santé nous et ka assurer de l'eau pour l'autre génération. Un petit pas ça mène gros changement. On nous protéger de l'eau nous et la vie nous pour temps qui ka venir. Pour plus d'informations, visitez wascostlucia.com.
The official Carnival Sunday line is back. Let's take you to Bacchanal Beach. Every Sunday until July 5th on the Vigi beachfront. Good vibes, drink specials, and live entertainment. Also your chance to register with Island Tribe for Carnival 2026. Bacchanal Beach, the official Carnival Sunday line. Every Sunday until July 5th on the Vigi beachfront. Bacchanal Beach is sponsored by P-Tour Beer, Power 97.9 FM, and the Carnival Planning and Management Agency.
The Eastern Caribbean Central Bank is inviting suitably qualified persons across the ECCU to apply for the position of Facilities Maintenance Technician. If you are ready to take the next step in your career, visit www.eccb-centralbank.org and complete the application form via the Vacancies tab. Applications close on Friday, 19th June.
The Royal St. Lucia Police and Allied Services Cooperative Credit Union Limited wishes to inform its esteemed members of its 52nd Annual General Meeting on Wednesday, June the 24th, 2026 at 10 a.m. at the Financial Administrative Building, Point Seraphin, Castries, under the theme Members' Dreams, Our Mission. The first 50 members to register in person will win prizes. Members joining virtually will get a chance to win special prizes. Come discuss the business of your credit union. Please be punctual. This is the most monitored talk show in the world, and it is called NewsSpin on Power 97.9 FM. The broadcast is also on the NewsSpin Facebook page as well as the NewsSpin YouTube channel, where we continue with your calls. We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air.
Hey, Tim, Alan Shastney here.
Hi, good afternoon, Mr. Shastney.
First of all, and it seems like it's a recurring statement that we all have to make. My condolences to the family that lost a loved one today. And I think, as you said, words just don't seem to do justice to what is going on in this country. And I really hope that when the Prime Minister chose to take our recommendations and throw them in a garbage bin, that maybe he will reconsider. I honestly believe, Tim, that we need to have a committee like we did during COVID, a command center that's going to react to this crime situation. Because as we've all seen, the crime is not one thing that's affecting it. It's multifaceted, and you need to bring all the different groups together. And the bureaucracy of governance cannot get in the way of trying to resolve this issue. But that's not what I really called for, Tim. What I called for was the clip that you played of the GPH chairman speaking about the sad reality of the Caribbean when it comes to the cruise industry. You know, and it reminded me, and again, it's not about, I said so. So that's not what, if anybody wants to interpret what I'm going to say, is that's not what it is. But when I was a young director of tourism, and Sir John had imposed $1 head tax when he built Point Seraphine. And Point Seraphine was the first of its kind, dedicated cruise ship port. And he increased the head tax to $1. And the cruise companies pulled out of St. Lucia for the $1. And he called me up and he said, look, Michael Manley is having a meeting in Jamaica to discuss tourism, and there's going to be an agenda for cruise tourism. I want you to go there, Alan, and I want you to go and get my money. And I arrived up in Jamaica, young boy, 1991, went to the meeting, and I remember sitting in the middle of the table because you had hoteliers on one side and you had the cruise industry on the other side. And eventually, after listening to the arguments for a while, I ended up going and sitting closer to the hoteliers on this particular issue. And there was a guy called Mr. Russo who owned a hotel called Siboney, who invited me to come back to his hotel that night. So we flew from Kingston to Ocho Rios. That's where he had a hotel called Siboney. And I spent the night writing a document, and it was called Franchising the Cruise Industry. And basically, the concept behind it was, if we treated the Caribbean as one destination, and that's a big assumption, not a fair assumption, but let's say we were able to unite and treat ourselves as one, and we acted as if we were a franchise, no different to the NBA, NFL, NHL. And basically, we understood that in 1992, the Caribbean represented 60% of the cruise ships' arrivals and almost 70% of their profit. And their profit back then was about $11 billion. So if we were to say, if we only allowed one cruise ship company to come to the Caribbean, what would that franchise agreement be worth? And I remember the firestorm that document created. And I have been to multiple meetings, both as a minister of tourism, as a hotelier, as a tourism industry person, and as prime minister. And it almost has been impossible to get to any level of consensus among the leaders in the regions to deal with the cruise industry holistically. And I want to say, there's really good things that the cruise industry brings, and there's some bad things. Our land-based tours, as an example, could not be the standard that they are without the cruise industry. The opportunity for employment, and I was very proud that when I came in as prime minister, I was able to meet with the cruise industry and to change their policy, because their practice was that they would take people only after they had worked for 5 years in the hotel sector. And we were able to change that around to say if we did 6 months of training, that they would then hire them. And that was a big deal, because imagine as a hotelier, you're spending all this money training your staff. At the moment that they're starting to become somewhat productive, the cruise industry would take them. So there are a lot of things I think that we can collectively find solutions to benefit both sides. But I think that the most disturbing part of what Mr. Cushman said, and you've spoken about it, is that, so what? We're going to allow GPH to do what we couldn't do? And here how they're going to do it. So in the case of St. Lucia, we were getting $6.50. Today we're getting $1, Tim. $1? And we acquiesce and we say, hey, it's okay to do this because we could have not gotten the tax ourselves. And so we're gonna let GPH go and get the money for us. But yet GPH is keeping the money and we cannot do it for ourselves. And that Mr. Cushman had the audacity to say that at a press conference in front of everyone and laugh at us, and we're all laughing with him. Boy, we're in serious trouble, Tim. We are in serious trouble. And until we learn how to value ourselves and we understand the value of a dollar, when we're going to be making investments, when a sitting government in St. Lucia today can take $300 million to build the halls of justice, and we were going to build a police headquarters and 6 courts for $100 million. When we would have moved into St. Jude's for $150 million, and now you're at 350 plus and counting. That money, that overprice that we're paying, you know what it could have done for St. Lucia and should have done for St. Lucia? And until we have a greater appreciation of some of these things are not going to change. And there's this argument, one that I have confronted my whole life. When people tell me, oh, you are a business person and business people have no right to be in politics. Because business people are going to look at it from a dollars cents perspective. And I kept on saying, no, I'm bringing business principles to government. One of accountability and how do you make those tough decisions? And especially when you're coming from a country that does not have enough resources to do everything that we would like to do because of our size, not because of our intellect, because of our physical size. But if there is ever a statement that, and he's right, that's an indictment against all of us, and in my humble opinion, an indictment against our own government. I'm not going to speak for St. Vincent because I don't know the details of their deal. But in the case of St. Lucia, we're getting $1. And look at it. We said it. What was GPH going to do that we couldn't do for ourselves? You're telling me those little the bus stops they built along the boardwalk, we couldn't do that? We couldn't build vendors' arcades? We built Point Seraphin in 1984. What is it that GPH is doing for us? We have a long ways to go, Tim. And if we don't start changing our politics in St. Lucia and holding, you're 100% right. If it's going to become a crime now to hold a government accountable, then we cannot call ourselves anymore a democratic country. Thank you, Tim, for that opportunity.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for calling. The leader of the parliamentary opposition, Mr. Alan Shasty. Let's play that clip again of the chairman of GPH saying to the leaders of the OECS, you should have, coalesced a long time ago, come together and confront the cruise sector so that you can benefit more from the cruise companies and benefit more from the thousands of cruise passengers who are visiting our shores in the sub-region.
And I'm going to criticize now not only Dr. Honorable Goodwin, but also all the prime ministers in the region. You guys have EC, it's called EC.
EC dollars.
No, the community.
Eastern Caribbean.
Eastern Caribbean. Yeah. They never can get a loan altogether. If they got a loan altogether, all of them agreed they could charge $100 to the cruise passengers, and the cruise lines could accept that, should accept that, will accept that. But somehow it breaks. $100, that's a lot of money for every single, but it will never happen. We are shooting for that slowly, step by step. This is off the record, confidential.
Just heard there from the chairman of GPH. Good afternoon to you. Let's find out from you what's happening in the chat rooms. Jante.
Starting off on YouTube, our first comment reads, yes, the white man, and he is not a white man. He can do a much better job. Philip has a problem with criticism. Wasco, please send water to Plateau. We want to wash and bathe. On Facebook, we have a comment saying, handouts are for St. Lucians. I always wonder why the government of St. Lucia doesn't sell shares to their citizens. St. Lucians were scammed by the SLP with regards to GPH. We have another comment here saying, being a member of OACS should allow and OACS citizens to qualify to buy shares, or is it reserved for only persons holding Vincentian passports? St. Lucians getting red sneakers and umbrellas, while Vincentians are getting the opportunity to buy shares. I like that, Pato. I agree. Let them put off their fires. A few comments are reading. Caller, these labels are just blind. Good observation, Pato. These guys don't see us or our people. They simply see the opportunity to reclaim the land they walked away from after the abolishment of slavery. We have another comment here reading. The PM said 100K per gun. So how much money is spent already? The laborers who know nothing are the ones speaking. So pathetic when you really think about it. We have more comments from our Facebook page reading 29 years and PJP cannot rescue Marsha. Shasney is the scum that SLP cannot provide any evidence to the special prosecutor for. The new department, named DRS, Department of Road Safety, was created by Mr. Gad, and since then, the wait for police reports and on-scene investigations have lengthened. Big name, no efficiency. We have another comment here saying, when PJP spoke about police giving people ride up the morn and dropping them there to find their way back home, his father used to do it as well. Listen to a true leader. Peep could never be. Shasney is the only one who can save St. Lucia right now. Another comment saying, Peep is just getting paid to drag St. Lucia down. Keep thinking that SLP are working in the people's best interest. I don't live in St. Lucia and I feel absolutely disgusted. So, I feel your pain, sir. And our final comment, the day Alan Shasney gives up on us, St. Lucians, here comes trouble.
Thanks so much, Jante. Still to come on this, the most monitored talk show in the world, some old-time Kaiso. Somebody has provided me with a track which is called Who Running. Please stay with the broadcast.
Advance your career at Lightspark Training with a globally recognized certification. Conveniently located on High Street Castries, Lightspark offers a wide range of programs to make the most of your career. Certifications in project management, risk management, quality management, marketing, ACC accounting, human resources, Microsoft, Cisco, and IT technician certification, graphic design, web design, and programming. Complete a diploma in accounting in 6 months or a bachelor's degree in just over a year. Call us today at 451-8918 or visit us at www.lightspark.com.
Every day, the pain is still there. Back, neck, shoulder, hip, chronic arthritis, pain down your leg to your toes, or heel pain when you put your foot on the ground. You've tried many things, but nothing works. Waiting will only make it worse. At La Clinique du Corps, we find the real cause of your pain using advanced MRI scans from head to toes with no radiation for more accurate results. Our specialist doctors provide faster diagnosis and effective treatment. Less pain, better movement, better life. All insurances accepted. Call now before it gets worse. 451-6559, that's 451-6559, or WhatsApp 721-9950. WhatsApp 721-9950. La Clinique du Corps. Stop suffering. Start living.
Today, get your credit card June 30, don't delay.
Lucelec wishes to advise customers that its customer service kiosk located at the Blue Coral Mall in Castries will be permanently closed to the public on Friday the 29th of May at 4 p.m. This closure is being undertaken as part of Lucelec's ongoing operational adjustments and service delivery planning. Lucelec is pleased to advise that its customer service office at the Carolec building on Daisy Avenue in Sans Souci is now open and ready to receive and serve walk-in customers. Customers who previously accessed services at the Blue Coral kiosk are encouraged to visit this location or our other offices in Rodney Bay and Vieux-Fort. Our remote options, including the virtual service desk on our website, lucelec.com, is also available. Lucelec remains committed to providing convenient, accessible, and efficient service options to meet the needs of our customers. The management of Lucelec regrets any inconvenience that the kiosk closure may cause and thanks customers for their understanding.
Need branded apparel that looks sharp and shows up on time? Welcome to Imprinted Designs, where every stitch counts. We specialize in custom embroidery and t-shirt printing for businesses, teams, events, you name it. From embroidered logos on polished Oxford shirts, available in a variety of colors for men and women, to bold, high-quality printed tees that turn heads, we do it all. Bring your own shirts or choose from ours. Small runs, big orders, rush jobs, no problem. At Imprinted Designs, we're built for speed, efficiency, and clean professional results delivered on time, every time. So if you want your brand to stand out, not wait around, come down to Imprinted Designs at the Valmore Plaza or hit us up at 451-2920 or email address imprinteddesignsSLU@gmail.com. Imprinted Designs, where every stitch counts.
Exceeding your expectations is what we strive for at Lazarus Funeral Home. Losing a loved one isn't something you can foresee. Since the beginning, affordability has been one of our priorities. Every day we're proving that burials don't have to be expensive. If cost is a factor in your time of bereavement, call Lazarus Funeral Home. We have coffins starting at $800 plus taxes. Nothing can cause more disappointment than poor quality. Help us help you keep your last memory of your loved one sacred. Make it special. Make it Lazarus Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Located at Bibliothèque Castries at 452-7491 and New Dock Road, V4 at 454-6555.
Stop paying full price. With Flow, you can slash your bill in half. You heard right. Cut your mobile bill in half when you add mobile to internet. That's the most reliable Wi-Fi at home. Plus, all the data you need on the go. So don't wait. Double your connection and double your value for half the price. Add mobile to internet today. Visit in-store or online at discoverflow.co for more details.
Ouais, messie, pas jodi moi la ka espérer plein bon glow, hein. Si t'es la pani pressure. Moi ni tongue, moi ni glow, me money pressure. Ou savez ça moi besoin? A pomme. Ça c'est bêtise. Moi ka aller ko Europa. Yo ni toute pomme pour toute condition. Qui pour kay, qui pour business. Yo ni pli mer pour pomme cette ici. Yo ka ranger pomme aussi qui besoin service. Run pump yo c'est Léo. Pump ça c'est Major. I bon tout bonnement. Tant si ten moi actuellement. Glo ka fante. Europa ni pump glo Léo under pour les nerfs, orange et gris. Visitez Europa ambassade Gozile. Les mots au téléphone 452-0763.
The National Farmers and General Workers Credit Union invites all its members to its 29th annual general meeting, which will be held on Sunday, June 14th at the Binfield Secondary School from 1:30 p.m. Please note that copies of the financial reports are available at our branches. All members are asked to make a special effort to attend and be on time. Special prices will be available for the first 50 members. It's happening on Sunday, June 14th at the Binfield Secondary School from 1:30 p.m. run. They're even faster than Juju. You will hear about them, how fast they run. My Daiso tutor and big brother put me sit down and asked me to write a composition. Yes, we had a nice and long conversation, which inspired me to come up with this one. You see, Eddie, for many years you've been my Kaiso student, and in you I have seen lots of positiveness and improvement. Write a Kaiso this year, let the people know who's bossing the land and who ran in the show. Well, I thought if the magistrates hearing court cases when and how they want, they ran in the land, then the police carrying out execution day or night on dogs and human. They ran in the land. And when a big papi lawyer politician is refused entry in a foreign land, then on the hour he has to rush back home. He to run in the land. In America and Canada, he tried to enter without paper. That's why he ran in the land from Canadian immigration. The man, he ran in this land. The Kaiso cipher, my friend, he tell me plain, I wish you could lend the PM a little brain. But brain is not an item you could pass on to a friend, like you moving chicks from the hatching nest to a pen. He said, Eddie, as far as I see, you are a Kaiso Jenny. Find yourself on track, prove to all you're master of this art. Go and sing out aloud this year. Let the people know who's bossing the tent and what's real Kaiso. And I thought, if Kaiso judges getting kickbacks to bring into semis kissing politicians, ask who running the show. Some of them can't even write a Kaiso line, yet telling me my Kaiso does not rhyme. They running Kaiso. Last year, Juiceman, Educator, and TC Brown, they sang praise and worship songs, ignoring the blueprint of the art form. They ran in the Kaiso wrong. And to be in Kaiso finals, you must run a thing by one, Mr. Paul. That's all. Kaiso running with bubble, Kaiso health running critical. Yes, man, politicians running Kaiso down. The Kaiso spinner, watch me and say, listen, man. Prepare yourself for the upcoming election. Your brain is so sharp, you always on your mark. With your cleverness, you go bridge up any gap. You see, Eddie, here in this country, we are short of love and unity. Leaders today, them serving with plates of hate and dishonesty. So go out there and sing out aloud. Let the people see who masking up their face to Mama Guy we. And I thought, Honestly, the man in charge of CIP arrogantly hijacked the project completely, and he running it badly. The man in charge of the security tell me his father was the police and not he. He running with low quality. And when the Lone Ranger in we House of Assembly, they can't breathe in there properly. The dusty House Speaker choking he. So he ran for safety. Like what I have, he ran from a Mickey Mouse. Though some people say he just walked out, but no, not so. He ran from the house, from Richie Honey and Company. The man running from the house.
Quite a few years we have not heard from this gentleman. Goes by the Calypso name, The Editor, with a track called Who Is Running. Many of you might not remember him, but his brother was also a Calypsonian many moons ago. His Calypso name was Splash, and he performed a track called Angel in the City. That's his brother. So you just heard there from The Editor with a track called Who Is Running. Our NewsSpin law enforcement consultant was calling the broadcast. We missed him, so let's try and see if we can establish contact with him. That will be our final contributor. I think he's on the line via WhatsApp. Good afternoon to you, sir. Good afternoon. I'm okay. How about you?
I'm cool, man, to be.
I'm good, thank you.
It's a while now, a few days we have not heard from you.
Morning, Tim. Morning. I lose 7 of my colleagues and also relatives and friends,
Okay.
So
condolences to you, sir.
I'm happy that you mentioned my partner editor,
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't have a brother in Calypso, he had brothers, them.
Okay.
Splash and Lack, Mighty Lack.
Okay, I can't remember Mighty Lack, no.
That was a very long time ago. He was a retired police superintendent, him. Right? He sang the tune, You Can Steal All My Land and Steal All My Property, but Let My People Go, a long time ago, back in the 70s.
Okay.
All right? Yeah, I just got to remind you of this gentleman. Editor never competed. I may not be too correct about that, but he's a very good friend.
I think he competed a couple of times, I think he did.
He's a very, very good friend.
Mm-hmm.
So I just got to remind you of that. But if I'm there, I'm hanging around, because this afternoon I'm going to lay my final ex-police colleague, Clifford John, to rest. So I'm just taking it easy, bro.
Okay.
So, all right, bro.
Now, happy to hear from you, sir.
Likewise, bro.
All right, okay. Thank you so much. We'll try to go through some of your WhatsApp messages and we'll have hopefully a final update from you. Mr. Producer, I wonder who is calling on the landline. We'll bet $5. We could bet. You have $5 to spare? I'll bet $5 that it's PW. Will you? Okay, it's not PW. Good afternoon to you, sir.
Saudia.
Mola. Kimon Kila.
Mr. Timothy, laisse-moi changer nom là, yo fait des temps pour te investigate monsieur Guy Joseph là. Moi-même monsieur c'est right nom là pour investigate monsieur Philippe G. Pierre et Marie Hippolyte et puis Michel Frederick et puis toutes les autres noms là dans le parlement là. Moi pas opinion moi. Because top pareil ta fait top pays top corrupt en bas c'est nom ça bon. Pays à la vente. Et c'est nom ça de bail chasser ni limé pour y boire. Et c'est pour ça plus mauvais de chasser de compris. So, moi les pays là pour demander nom là yo te mener des choses pour investiguer Guy Joseph là pour investiguer ce nom ça nous là. Vous voyez.
Okay. Merci beaucoup. I lost that bet. The good thing I bet I wagered only $5. Final update from you. Janti, what's happening in the chat rooms?
Starting off on YouTube, we have our first comment reading. These white men are laughing at us. Shameful. The entirety of the statement, not even remembering Eastern Caribbean, and the audience response so cringy. I'm having second-hand embarrassment. On Facebook, our first comment reads, Tim, ask Uncle Shas to find out from Dr. Friday if St. Lucians can invest in GPH in St. Vincent. GPH laughing at them with the dollar they're going to get. GPH white men are laughing at us while Shas is saying, we told you so. We have another comment saying, so the chairman of GPH just told them that he is the one that's going to kill them, and that's off the record, and all the colorfuls started to laugh at their death. When asked about the price of fuel, PJP said St. Lucia don't produce oil, but PJP St. Lucians don't print their money either. The power of monopoly. A few comments are reading, it's St. Lucia's for not having Shas as Prime Minister, you fool. What does PEEP have to offer other than handouts and borrowing? Shas is the best thing that ever happened to St. Lucia. God is in control. St. Lucia's downfall is for not having Shas as Prime Minister. We have another comment saying, one don't have to live in St. Lucia to speak about important issues affecting my family. Shaking my head. The ignorance of some. If we put aside color, we can all agree on what's best for St. Lucia without standing who delivers. Next time he has a press briefing, pay close attention to the faces of the reporters in the room and watch their reactions. Facial expressions never lie. We have some comments from our Facebook page reading, case in point, can we agree that politicians who contest the elections and lose should not be made ministers? Saying you are a Christian means nothing if you can't be honest. Many are called, but few are chosen. Where is Rick, Tim? I miss his voice and his contributions.
He's working on his autobiography as we speak. Continue.
We have another comment saying, things may change when the electorate start from the agenda and not just buy into the agenda. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you so much for that update. Let's see, we have our NewsSpin question of the day. The NewsSpin question of the day, and it reads, GPH also takes over St. Vincent's Port. What say you? GPH also takes over St. Vincent's Port. What say you? That question posted on the NewsSpin Facebook page. We have our NewsSpin news of the day, which reads, California cult leader gets 225 years for raping followers. California cult leader gets 225 years for raping followers. That's the broadcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show. Don't forget, please like the video, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and click the notification bell to help the NewsSpin channel grow. Enjoy your weekend. And we leave you with the clip of the chairman of GPH. Let us watch and listen as we conclude the broadcast, and wish you a good weekend. We'll be back on Monday, God willing. Goodbye.
And I'm going to criticize now not only Dr. Honorable Goodwin, but also all the all the prime ministers in the region. You guys have EC, it's called EC. No, the community.
Eastern Caribbean.
Eastern Caribbean. Yeah. They never can get a loan altogether. If they got a loan altogether, all of them agreed they could charge $100 to the cruise passengers, and the cruise lines could accept that, should accept that, will accept that. But somehow it breaks. You know, $100, that's a lot of money for every single, but it will never happen. We are shooting for that slowly, step by step. This is off the record, confidential.